DPI World Report, Episode 6, Wales. The Early Warning Signal. Wales, a small nation on the western edge of Europe, but today it stands at the center of a global truth. Because in Wales, the early warning signals are no longer subtle. They are visible. They are accelerating. And they are telling us something about the future that humanity is not yet prepared to accept. This episode is not about Wales alone. It is about the pattern Wales reveals, a pattern now emerging across the world. A volatility pattern, a governance pattern, a water security pattern, a climate finance pattern. If you understand Wales, you understand where Europe is heading, and if you understand Europe, you understand the world. Welcome to Episode 6. This is the DPI World Report, and this is Wales, the Early Warning Signal. Section 1. The Micro-Reality. Wales has always been defined by water, rainfall, rivers, reservoirs, the hydrological heartbeat of a nation. But that heartbeat is no longer steady. In the last decade, Wales has shifted from predictable wetness to oscillation, drought to flood to drought to deluge. Each swing sharper than the last. The reservoirs that once represented stability are now stress indicators Elan Valley, dipping fast, then refilling too quickly. Llyn Brian, exposed banks in summer, overtopping risk in winter. Llyn Selen, increasingly unpredictable recharge cycles. These are not isolated technical issues. They are the physical expression of a system under pressure. A system whose inputs no longer match its design assumptions. A system experiencing climate volatility in real time. This is the micro layer. And in DPI terms, the micro layer is where the truth becomes visible first. Section 2. Macro patterns emerging. To see Wales clearly, you have to zoom out. Across the North Atlantic, the jet stream, once a reliable atmospheric conveyor, is behaving like a torn thread, meandering further south, stalling over Europe, accelerating over the UK, creating prolonged dry spells, followed by violent rainfall events. In the DPI lexicon, this is the macro-micro compression point. Global patterns resolving into local impacts faster than governance systems can adapt. For Wales, this means flash floods in valleys where no one expected them, river surges that exceed planning standards, landslides triggered not by rainfall volume alone, but by rainfall tempo. Europe sees Wales as a rainfall-rich outlier. But volatility does not respect stereotypes. Wales is showing us that being wet is irrelevant. What matters is the pattern of wetness, when it comes, how fast it comes, and how long it stays away. This is the hidden macro signal. Section 3. Governance. Stress points. Now we move to governance. Local councils, water agencies, and infrastructure authorities across Wales were built for a different century. A century with stable seasonal patterns, predictable flows, lower extreme event frequency, smoother budget cycles. But governance is a machine designed for yesterday's problems, and climate volatility is a problem from tomorrow. The gap between these two realities is widening. We see infrastructure that fails under multi-day deluge intensities. Stormwater systems overwhelmed by rainfall velocities outside their design envelope. Financial stress as insurers recalculate risk for homes, roads, and businesses. Political pressure as expectations and realities diverge. And in the background is a truth the DPI community understands. Governance lags data. And when governance lags too far, systems break. Section 4. The Early Warning Signal. Here is the heart of this episode. Wales is not an anomaly. It is a signal. a leading indicator inside a global volatility pattern. The Veritas classification of this signal includes 4 markers. 1. Hydrological oscillation marker. Abrupt transitions between drought and deluge. 2. Infrastructure lag marker. Systems designed for a climate that no longer exists. 3rd, governance stress marker. Institutions unable to process volatility at the required tempo. 4th, financial drift marker. Insurance, maintenance, and capital budgets moving out of sync with physical reality. These 4 markers define a global DPI warning system. And Wales sits at the center of the map. Why Wales? Because the data is tight, the patterns are clean, and the volatility signal is unambiguous. Around the world, the same pattern is forming. In Punjab, in Brazil, in the American West, in the Mediterranean, in East Asia, Wales is simply the most readable. Section 5. Why it matters. Every governance system, from local councils to national parliaments, is built on the assumption of relative stability. But stability is no longer the baseline. Volatility is. This is the inflection point DPI has been waiting for. The moment when verification becomes more valuable than narrative. When data becomes more powerful than assumptions. When transparency becomes the only effective governance tool. Wales shows us how fast systems can shift. But it also shows us that early detection is possible. If you know what to look for, and if you collect the right data, you can see the future before it hits. This episode is not a warning, it is a demonstration. Section 6. Wales as the global case study. Why Wales? Because the pattern is small enough to map and large enough to matter. Wales is becoming Europe's climate volatility classroom, a testing ground for understanding the next generation of risks, how infrastructure fails, how governance strains, how finance adapts, how people respond, and how global patterns translate into local consequences. This is why Wales belongs inside the DPI sequence. Punjab to Wales to the Gulf of America. Different continents, different climates, same pattern. The implementation era of climate truth is here, and Wales is the evidence. Closing. This is the DPI World Report, and Wales is speaking clearly. The question is whether we listen. Time will tell. I badni thur, psychod moyaf simru, geda chariad, nadolig lawan.